Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to explain an incredible manhwa where a completely average guy gets a second chance in a brutal world. So our story begins with a man realizing a harsh truth. There is no such thing as a beautiful or peaceful death. For 33 years, his life was completely below average. Like many others, he left his home province and ended up in Noryangjin, spending 7 long years desperately studying for a level 9 civil service exam. But on this night, his exhausting routine comes to a sudden, violent halt. Out of nowhere, a speeding car rushed toward him. A sickening crash echoes through the streets. The impact hurls his body through the air, crashing onto the cold, hard asphalt. The car doesn't even slow down, leaving him behind to bleed out alone in the dark. The real heartbreak wasn't his failure, it was his mother. After his father passed away, she did every grueling job imaginable to support him, working as an insurance agent, a nursing home assistant, a snack shop worker, and a florist. She covered his tuition and exam fees, leaving herself with nothing but overwhelming debt. Instead of repaying her, he only caused her stress, and last year she passed away from pancreatic cancer. Lying on the cold asphalt after being hit during his shift, he wonders if his mother would even be proud to see him in the afterlife. Even though he was completely incompetent to her, he was everything. As his vision starts to fade, he notices something on the road. He painfully reaches his hand out toward it. It's his father's necklace, the absolute last keepsake left in his life. Clutching the necklace tight, the darkness closes in and he expects to face death. But instead of dying, he suddenly blinks and opens his eyes. The immense pain from the crash is completely gone. He looks around the strange, ancient-style room in absolute confusion. Wait, why am I still alive? Before he can even process what's happening, a massive flood of memories that don't belong to him forces its way into his brain. He finally realizes the reality of the situation. He has transmigrated into another world, a Murim world where martial arts and cultivation rule everything. And in this world, his name is now Jo Hwi. He opens his eyes to find 2 people watching over him, their worry written all over their faces. Jo Hwi had been unconscious for 3 days straight, and now that he's awake, they can finally relax. As they try to take care of him, he listens to them talking about the local general. In this region, blacksmiths aren't allowed to just forge whatever they want. They need a special official plate, essentially a permission slip from the general, just to legally make an iron sword. Jo Hwi quickly digs through his newly acquired memories to find out who this general actually is. The details make him uneasy. According to his memories, this general is a thoroughly evil person who completely controls the local salt and iron trades, making life a living hell for ordinary workers. Our MC decides to look deeper into his memory to figure out his new family dynamic. The Jo clan runs an iron chamber, but they're currently a struggling, declining family. His father, Jo Soon, is a dedicated blacksmith. His mother, Goa Young, is incredibly kind and caring. But as he digs into the family's financial situation, Jo Hwi uncovers a infuriating piece of information. The main reason their iron chamber is failing isn't because his father is a bad blacksmith. It's because they are being heavily scammed by the junior sect leader of the prominent Hwa clan. Remember that official permission plate required by the general to legally forge swords? Well, the Hwa clan's junior sect leader took massive advantage of the Jo clan's desperate situation. He forced them to pay an astronomical fee of 2,000 silver coins, promising to act as an intermediary and secure that license from the general. Aside from his parents, Jo Hwi meets the rest of his siblings. There's his hot-headed older brother, Jo Hyuk, whose entire personality revolves around a desperate dream to enter the Jianghu and become a martial artist. Finally, his younger sister, Jo Yeon, is sweet but unfortunately very frail and sickly. Sifting through more of his thoughts, our protagonist learns that the previous owner of this body was actually a massive bookworm who possessed a vast amount of academic knowledge. But the moment his mind stumbles upon the name Sama, everything changes. Out of nowhere, his heart begins racing and his blood starts boiling with an intense, unnatural rage. He grips his chest, completely baffled. What is this? I don't even know who this is, so why is this body reacting with so much hatred? It's an alarming mystery, but he has bigger things to worry about right now. He starts mapping out his future. What should his goal be in this brutal new world? Should he try to become a wealthy merchant, a high-ranking politician, or aim for the absolute top and become a god? The answer is obvious. In a cutthroat world like Murim, power is everything. He needs to learn martial arts to survive, and luckily he has an older brother who practices swordplay every single day. Wanting to see what real Murim martial arts look like, Jo Hwi goes outside to watch his brother train. He expects to see something spectacular, but the reality is a complete letdown. His brother is swinging his sword wildly, with zero balance and terrible form. Jo Hwi stands there staring blankly. He honestly believes his old elementary school buddy who briefly went to a local kendo club could easily beat his brother in a real fight. He walks over and asks, "Hey, who exactly did you learn these moves from? Which great master taught you this swordplay?" His brother proudly wipes the sweat from his face and puffs out his chest. "A master? Come on. I learned this from my friend. Mind you, I had to treat him to an expensive meal and drinks before he agreed to show me these secret techniques." Jo Hwi can't help but openly mock him. "You bought someone a treat to learn. Whatever this is, if you want to get strong, why don't you actually go find a real Jianghu master instead of learning garbage from your friend?" His brother's smile disappears and he snaps back angrily. "Do you even know how much I suffered? I traveled across prefectures, begged sects for guidance, and still only managed to learn scraps." Hearing this, Jo Hwi realizes just how hard it is for ordinary people to get proper training from the older generation of martial artists. Hearing this, his brother stops completely. He looks at Jo Hwi, openly making fun of him with a sigh. "I always knew you were a clueless bookworm little brother, but I seriously didn't know you were this stupid." He shakes his head and tells him about the legendary martial artists of the older generation. He explains that true martial arts legends, the powerhouse grandmasters, belong to massive, elite sects and ancient factions. To ordinary, working-class citizens like their struggling blacksmith family, those legendary figures of the older generation are basically myths. Most regular people live their entire lives and die of old age without ever getting to see a single real master. Smirking, his brother slaps him on the back. "Since finding a grandmaster is impossible, how about I teach you my moves instead?" Jo Hwi immediately declines, wanting absolutely nothing to do with that sloppy swordplay, but looking down at his hands, a real sense of purpose forms. If legendary masters won't just appear out of thin air, he will have to forge his own path. He is fully determined to become a true martial artist on his own terms. And that is where Jo Hwi's journey begins. So, do you think you could survive in a ruthless Murim world with nothing but civil exam prep and delivery experience? Let me know your theories in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.